Hi, my name is Alice. I used to live with my dad in a small apartment in the suburbs. My parents got divorced when I was very little. My mom just moved to another state, and that was it. She didn't call, didn't write, didn't ask how I was doing. At first, I waited. Then I felt angry. And eventually, I got used to it. But getting used to something doesn't mean you stop needing it. As my body was growing, all sorts of, girl things started happening to me. The kind of things girls usually talk about with their moms. And I didn't really feel comfortable talking about that stuff with my dad.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. My stomach just hurts a little. And then someone came into our lives. I started noticing that Dad was acting kind of strange. He kept going out somewhere in the evenings.
I'm meeting someone for a business dinner.
I pretended to believe him. But seriously? A business dinner 3 times a week? Come on, Dad. And there were other signs too. Sometimes he'd come home with lipstick stains on his shirt.
It's, sauce.
Sauce. Right. Very convincing. And every now and then, messages full of heart emojis would pop up on his phone.
That's from the tax office.
Oh, Dad was a terrible liar. But I decided not to push it. Like he'd tell me himself when he was ready. One day, he came home with the look on his face as if he just won the lottery. Dad, come on, just introduce me to her already. I can tell you're in love.
Whew, I was worried you'd be against it. That you'd say I was betraying your mother.
Are you serious? Mom's the one who vanished from our lives. A couple of days later, Dad introduced me to Laura. She had 2 sons, twin boys, about 12 years old, Jake and Noah. It all went pretty well. If you ever need to talk about girl stuff, I'm always here for you. The twins turned out to be pretty cool too. We quickly bonded over games, memes, and all that kind of stuff. Things moved pretty fast. Dad proposed, Laura said yes, and soon we moved into her house and rented out our apartment. And just like that, a new chapter in my life began. That's when things started to feel weird. One day, I walked into the twins' room and noticed there were 3 beds. Who's the 3rd bed for? My sister sometimes comes to visit with her son. That one's for him. I nodded and didn't think much of it. But then I found a family photo with a piece torn off. You could clearly tell someone was there. I asked Laura about it. That was my ex-husband. He was a terrible man. He hurt me and the children. When I kicked him out, I decided to get rid of anything that reminded me of him. I believed her again. And by that point, Laura and I really had become close. We went shopping together, cooked, and watched TV shows. It felt like I finally had a mother. Things weren't going nearly as smoothly between Dad and the twins. He tried to be an authority figure for them, but they looked at him like he was some random NPC. You're not our dad. Don't boss us around. But Dad was trying to stay patient.
It's okay. They just need time.
One day, I went into the twins' room to get my phone charger. Then I noticed a huge stack of drawings on the desk. They all showed 3 boys. They looked a lot like Jake and Noah, except there were 3 of them. The 3rd boy was wearing some kind of terrifying mask, and he was setting the kitchen on fire. A chill ran down my spine. And then the twins walked into the room. Who is that? That's Leo. He's bad. What do you mean, bad? The twins giggled, and everything inside me tensed. In that moment, I realized there was something in that house no one had told me about. Later, I looked behind the fridge. There was a scorch mark there, exactly like the one in the drawing. That happened a long time ago. Back when I was still living with my ex-husband. We had a fight. I forgot about a steak in the pan. It caught fire. I tried to toss it away and accidentally dropped it behind the fridge. It caused a small fire. It sounded plausible enough. And who's Leo? No idea. I didn't say a word, but a theory was already taking shape in my mind, and I didn't like it one bit. I was seriously starting to think Laura had a 3rd son, one so troubled that she decided to pretend he didn't exist. A couple of days later, we went to get a new insurance policy for the whole family.
How many children do you have?
3. My heart literally skipped a beat. But then Laura added the twins and Alice. Oh, right. Technically, I was one of the children in the family now, too. That night, things got even creepier. I had almost fallen asleep when I heard a creak, like someone was slowly walking across the floor. I got up and looked into my parents' room first. They were asleep. Then I opened the twins' door. They were asleep too. So who was walking around? Then I heard the sound again. This time it was coming from the living room. A chill ran down my spine, but I went in anyway. No one was in the room. But the chair, it had been moved. I knew it had. Did you hear anything last night? Dad just shrugged. Laura said she'd slept like a log, but then she opened the fridge and suddenly frowned. Where's the juice? And the pancakes? Did you sneak food into your room again last night? No, Mom, it wasn't us. Later, when the three of us were alone, the twins came over to me. You heard him too, didn't you? A chill went through me. Heard who? Leo. Will you just explain what's going on? The twins told me Leo was their third brother, and he had always been different. He tortured animals, got into fights at school, did awful things just because he felt like it, and he loved wearing a scary mask. Right away, I thought of the drawings. One day, he almost burned the house down. After that, they sent him to a psychiatric hospital, but he escaped. We think he's dead, and now his ghost lives in the house. I didn't believe the ghost part, of course, but I did believe that there was a third child Laura didn't want to talk about. And that, honestly, was really unsettling. I decided to talk to my dad when we finally had a moment alone. Dad, I think Laura has another son, and she's hiding him. But to my surprise, Dad immediately got angry.
Things have only just started getting better for us. You were the one who said that you were okay with the wedding, and now you're making up these weird stories?
I tried to explain that I wasn't imagining it. There were the drawings and all those strange things, but he wouldn't even listen to me. That night, I heard the sound again. I ran into the hallway and caught a glimpse of a shadow. My heart sank. I rushed into my parents' room and woke my dad up. There's someone in the house! Of course, he immediately turned on the lights and checked every room. But no one was there. My father looked at me as if I had really let him down. That's when I realized he would never believe me unless I had proof. A couple of days later, my parents told me that Laura was going to visit her mom. Dad was taking the twins on a camping trip. Apparently, the idea was to help them bond. I was left home alone, and I was not happy about it at all. I called Laura. Alice, just be a normal teenager for once. Throw a party, invite your friends. Yeah, that sounded great. If only my friends didn't all live in another neighborhood. None of them could come. I was about to spend several nights alone in that creepy house. Okay, I'm not a little kid anymore. I turned on every light I could. Then I put on some dumb comedy. I tried to act like I was just a normal teenager enjoying having the house all to myself. But in reality, I was sitting there with my knees pulled up, jumping at every little sound. And of course, that's when it happened. First, the light in the kitchen just went out. I froze, staring into the darkness where the room had been lit just a second before. I tried to tell myself it was only a power flicker, but then the hallway light went out too. And that was it. I started to panic. I switched on my phone flashlight and started frantically searching for the light switches. Come on, if I stay in the dark, I'm going to lose it. And then I heard footsteps somewhere deep inside the house. Then came a loud crash. I almost screamed, but somehow I managed to hold it in. I could think of only one thing. I needed something to protect myself. So I bolted for the garage. I wanted to find anything heavy I could use. I opened the garage door and started going through the tools, as if a hammer was really going to protect me from a ghost. Then, at some point, I noticed something lying on the floor. It was a mask, exactly like the one in the twins' drawings. My whole insides went cold. That was when I realized I'd had enough. I was not staying in that house for 1 second longer. I just grabbed my keys and ran out of the house. The only place I could go was our old apartment. I knew my dad had rented it out to some college student, but honestly, I didn't care. I was just going to ask if I could stay there for the night. But the moment I opened the door, I was stunned. The place looked like it had been torn apart by a storm of pizza boxes, plastic cups, and teenage chaos. Then a guy came out of the kitchen. He saw me and actually jumped.
Who are you?
I'm the landlord's daughter. What did you turn our apartment into? He began apologizing, explaining that he'd had finals wrapping up, had friends over, and all that.
I'll clean everything up, I swear. Please don't tell your dad or he'll kick me out.
Fine, but on one condition. I'm staying here tonight.
No problem. Fight with your parents?
I wish. Before I knew it, I was telling him everything. About the house, the drawings, Leo, even the mask.
That's so cool!
You cannot be serious right now.
Not because you got scared. I mean the story itself. I study at a film school. I'm gonna be a director, and this is the perfect plot for my graduation project.
Sure, whatever. Just help me figure out what the hell is going on. That's how I got myself a partner. His name was Dan. We started discussing how we could get to the truth. There weren't many options. Laura didn't have social media, and I didn't know any of her friends or relatives. Then, Dan suggested we go back to the house in the morning with a camera and inspect the place properly. It would be less scary with the two of us, so I agreed. That night, Dan slept in my old room and I stayed in my dad's. I opened the closet to look for clean bed sheets, and then I noticed something strange. There was a key in there with a number tag on it. I wonder what this opens. I snapped a photo of the key and looked it up. The result was interesting. Keys like that were used by a company that rented out storage units. Why would Dad need a storage unit? The next morning, I showed Dan the key.
Oh, now we're in real detective territory.
He grabbed the camera and we headed out. I found the right unit by the number, slid the key into the lock, and opened it. Old furniture, my childhood things. For a second, I actually felt relieved. But then I saw the gift boxes. I opened the first one. Inside was a princess toy set. The second one had shoes. And another one had something else. And next to them were cards. Happy birthday, my sweet little girl? I held my breath as I reached for the next card. Merry Christmas, Princess? I started going through the letters. And with every word, my whole world was turning inside out. They were all from my mother. Your father is probably keeping my letters and gifts from you, but I want you to know I'm thinking of you, Alice. She had been writing to me all these years. I clutched the letters in my hands, tears streaming down my face. That was the moment I understood. My mom didn't vanish. She was deliberately kept out of my life. And that's when I noticed Dan was recording all of it. Put the camera away or I'll break it and feed it to you one piece at a time.
Sorry, that wasn't considerate of me.
I was doing my best to pull myself together, but inside me, it was all chaos. Anger, resentment, relief. And on top of that, this strange feeling that I'd been lied to my whole life. Once I'd calmed down a little, everything in my head started falling into place. My dad could wait. I'll deal with him later. Right now, the only thing on my mind was Leo. We're going to my stepmother's house.
Seriously? After everything that just happened?
Yes, I want to find out if Leo is even real.
Alright, if a ghost kills us, at least I'll leave behind some great footage.
Hilarious. When we got to the house, I had this strange feeling. Like I wasn't coming home, but walking back into a place where something was deeply wrong. Everything looked exactly the same as when I had fled in panic the day before. We stepped inside, and Dan immediately started recording.
And so, here we are at the scene of the crime.
Dan, please. We started checking everything we could. Laura's documents, the drawers, the closets, but we found nothing.
Listen, are you sure about this?
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm not seeing any real proof. The mask is obviously just a Halloween costume. As for the drawings, kids draw creepy stuff all the time.
I saw it, Dan. I heard the footsteps.
Or maybe you just never wanted to move here? Like a new family, a new life? And your mind started making things up?
No! I liked Laura. At least until everything got completely insane.
Okay, don't get mad. I'm just trying to be rational.
And then we noticed something. The armchair in the living room was not where it should have been. Wait, I moved the armchair, and then the rug hanging on the wall, and froze. There was a little door behind it. Are you seeing this?
Okay, now that's interesting.
Together, we pushed the little door open. Inside was a tiny room, an old storage closet. There was a bed, food crumbs, and some clothes. Laura didn't send Leo to any clinic. She was hiding him here.
This is seriously turning into some kind of thriller.
But where is Leo now? And then the door behind us swung open. A man was standing in the doorway.
You were never supposed to find me.
He came straight at us. Dan and I started throwing whatever we could get our hands on at him. The man stumbled, and that was all the chance we needed to bolt out of the room. I slammed the door shut, and Dan threw his whole weight against it.
Call the police!
The police got there pretty quickly, and Laura arrived at the exact same time. She froze when she saw the man being led out of the house in handcuffs. This can't be happening! That's my ex-husband! Apparently, after the divorce, he had nowhere else to go, so he came back and had been secretly living in the house. He only came out at night or when no one was around, and suddenly, everything made sense. The footsteps, the food that kept disappearing, it was him! Wait, so there's no third son?
No, I told you.
When Dad came back with the twins, we told him everything. He was stunned, but as for the twins, we decided not to tell them the truth about their father. The boys excitedly talked about the hike and how they had finally grown closer to Dad. By the way, we made Leo up. What do you mean? They started giggling. We wanted to scare your dad so he'd run away. Well, you ended up scaring me instead. Sorry, but we're friends now. It's all going to be great. Yeah, it will be, guys. Later, I talked to Dad about the storage room and the gifts from Mom.
Yeah, I was hiding them.
Why?
I thought it would make things easier for you. Your mom has a new life, a new family. I didn't want it to hurt you.
But you made that decision for me.
I was very wrong. Can you forgive me?
I need time. You know what I've realized? Family doesn't have to look perfect to be real. Sometimes it's more like a quilt, stitched from mismatched pieces. And somehow, that's what keeps you warm. We really did become something whole. And Dad even made his graduation film about us. But I still want to meet Mom so badly. Where do I even begin? What should I say to her?